parata Vininaya Gayati Basharuposa Vedata Pariprimita Savaviditya Sanam Saram Saram Pariprimita Savavidantam Saram Hi Sri Bhagavatam Ishyate Tarasamitasya Hachiptasya Nayatya Sharati Kuchi Krishna Yavasudevaya Devaki Nandana Yasha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kansa Chanuramadana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bandi Jagaguru Namamo Krishna Padaya Krishna Kristaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Chinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gora Bhani Pracharine Nibisesa Sunyavadi Pashatya Disatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Pima Pradayate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namire Gotas Kise Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantarar Kantana Masute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radha Bindabaneswari Besabanu Sute Devi Panamami Haripi Panchakapatru Vyascha Kripasindhu Vya Evacha Patetanam Pavanabhebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank everyone for being here this evening, and I thank those who are yet to come. Hopefully, they will come on time. I know that because you all are situated in different parts of the world. Okay, let me see. The life goes on. I'm speaking live from Vrindavan. So some of you in the afternoon and some in the morning time. So there may be a time constraint for many devotees. But it's always nice to be able to speak on Bhagavatam and also to hear Bhagavatam. Hearing and speaking, that is the life of the devotee. Actually, this chapter that we are reading, this chapter 7, it whereby Vidura is asking Maitreya many questions. And these questions, Vidura was asking Maitreya many questions. So these questions of Vidura, because the question is all about Krishna. So therefore, it gives so much delight to Maitreya who is providing the answer. So the questioning and answering, they provide a path to liberation from the material world by asking about Krishna and also by giving the answer. So it gives life to everyone. What gives life is what is Krishna consciousness. In other words, every other thing is just source of misery. It's just source of distress, misery. Every other thing in this material world. But when there's a topic of discussion about the Supreme Lord, then it gives one's life. And there's the genuine happiness comes from that. So therefore, we should always make sure in our life that we always engage in hearing and talking about the Supreme Lord, his incarnations, devotees also. Then we feel different in this material world. So Vidura how they approach matrimony. So we're going to be having a discussion. So today I've been giving the verses about, I think, 4 or 5 verses to read today, 22 to 26. So that is 5 verses. So this is 5 verses. So we're going to start from the verse 22, chapter 7. Third Canto, chapter 7, and text, starting from text 22. So Vidura is asking about started from Purusha incarnations. So text number 22. Yadahu Vadyam Purusham Sahasangri Bahukam Yata Vishwaine Loka Savishakan Savikasam Taashati Yam Ahu is called Adyam original, Purusham incarnation for cosmic manifestation, Sahasra 1,000, angry legs, Puru thighs, Bahukam hands or ham, Yatra wherein Vishwa the universe, Ime all this, Lokaha planets, Savikasam with respective developments, Te all of them, Asate living. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Purusha incarnation lying on the causal ocean is called the original Purusha in the material creations, and in his Virat form, in whom all the planets and their inhabitants live, he has many thousands of legs and hands. Purport. The first Purusha is Karanodakasaya Vishnu. Karanodakasaya Vishnu. The second Purusha is Gabudag Kasai Vishnu. And the third Purusha is Kirudakasaya Vishnu, in whom is contemplated the Virat Purusha, the gigantic form, in which all the planets with their different developments and inhabitants are floating. So this is the progression of the creation of the material universe. So originally, there was the creation of Mahatattva. The Mahatattva is the amalgamation of all the material elements. Normally, a corner of the spiritual world, a corner which is outside the spiritual, is a corner of it, like a very small, like a dark corner. So Lord Narayan, in his expansion of Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So you have Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Baladev. So there are four quadruple expansions. So, and then from this expansion, first of all, there is the law glance. There is the law enter the material unit. It enter this amalgamation of Mahatattva, And if this entry, this is called the Lord became, this is the Vishnu form. This is Karanodakasha Vishnu. He enters, and then when he enters it, and then from the pulse of his body, so many universes are coming out. So many universes are coming. So this is called Purusha incarnation. The first Purusha is Karanodakasha Vishnu, from whose body so many universes are coming. And then the same Purusha again expanded himself again in the form of Garbhodakasha Vishnu. And this Vishnu forms, Garbhodakasha Vishnu, enters into a particular universe. Now, there are many universes, not just one. There are thousands, there are millions and millions of universes. So Garbhodakasha Vishnu enters a particular universe. Actually, our universe is said to be the smallest one. There are other much bigger universes. Like one time when Lord Brahma, he went to Dwarka to see Lord Krishna. So when he went to Dwarka to see Lord Krishna, and then he was at the gate, and he told the servant who was at the gate that to go and inform the Lord that Brahmaji had come. So the servant went to the Lord and said that Lord Brahma had come. Lord Brahma had arrived. So the Lord told him that go and find out, go ask him which Brahma is he. Which Brahma is he? Because there's supposed to be only one Brahma per universe. There's supposed to be only one Brahma. There cannot be two Brahma. There's only one Brahma. Because Brahma is the creator of is the engineer of the universe. So he said, go ask him which Brahma is he. So the messenger, he went back to Lord Brahma and said, well, the Lord want to find out from you, which Brahma are you? So when Brahma heard this, he was perplexed. He said, I thought there's only one, I thought there's only me. How can there be another Brahma? How can there be another Brahma? And then again, so when someone went back to the Lord, said, he's the Brahma of the universe, the only creator of the universe. The Lord said, just tell him just ask him which Brahma is he. And so Brahma had to define himself. Oh, I'm the Brahma, I'm the four-headed Brahma in this universe. So he was allowed to come in. And then when he went inside, well, as he started paying his obeisances to the Lord, then he started seeing so many other Brahmins coming in. And these other Brahmas who were coming in, they were much bigger than he. Because our Brahmaji, he had 4 heads. So Brahma started seeing other Brahma who has 8 heads, 16 heads, 32 heads, 64 heads, 128 heads. So many, and then he saw so many of them with dozens and dozens of head, even some with hundreds and hundreds of head, and some with even thousands and thousands of head. Because according to the size of a particular universe, there be corresponding Brahma will have a particular head that is suitable for that particular universe. So because our universe is the smallest, it's said to be 4 billion in diameter, our universe. So our Brahma only had 4 heads. So so started seeing that so many Brahma with so many heads. And all these Brahma, they all bound their head and they are with all their elements making jingling sound on the floor as they all bound their heads to the Lord. And then the Lord asked, and then all these Brahma, they all asking that, oh, our dear Lord, why have you called us here? And then the Lord asked them that I want to find out if everything is going well in your particular universes. And they all replied that our Lord, by your mercy, everything is going well. Everything is going well according to your mercy in our particular universe. So, and then the other Brahmins, they were dismissed. Now, all these Brahmas, they didn't see each other. Only our Brahman that the Lord, he allowed him to see all the other Brahmas. But the other Brahman, they only see themselves coming in. So it's not that they also each other there. It's not that they all say, here's the 8-headed Brahman, here's 16, and they just shaking each other's hand. It wasn't that way. And then the Brahmaji could see the extraordinary extraordinary opulence of the Lord. He could see that, I'm not alone. I'm just actually I happen to be like the smallest of all the Brahmas. So one universe enter Garbhodasha Vishnu. And then from that particular Garbhodasha Vishnu, and then from the stomach, a lotus come out, a lotus flower comes out. And then from the top of the lotus flower, Brahmaji is generated. Lord Brahma came out. Lord Brahma will come out on top of the lotus flower. So therefore, Lord Brahma is called. Sometimes his name is called Vidi. He's called Vidi sometimes. And Aja is who's unborn. Is not born. It's called a self-born, because it just came out on top of the lotus flower. He came out on top. So which means he had no mother, but he has father. His father is Narayana. So which means through the lotus flower that is coming from the navel of the Lord. So Lord Brahmaji is created, that Brahmaji is come out, manifested. And then of course this Garbhodasha Vishnu, who is the Lord of the particular universe. So he's the soul of the universe. So which means he's the universal soul. The universal soul is the Garbhodasha Vishnu. Whereas Mahavishnu is the soul of the whole material world. The whole material world is Mahavishnu. A particular universe is Garbhodasha Vishnu. And then the same Garbhodasha Vishnu again, that he again expanded himself. He expanded himself into unlimited numbers of living entity as Kirodasha Vishnu, and then he enters into the body, into the heart of all living entity. Is there as a witness for the living entities. And the Kirodasha Vishnu, he stays in the ocean of milk. He stays in the ocean of milk. So that's why it's called Kira. Kira means milk. Kira. So he stays in the ocean of milk, and he's the source of all the incarnation, which means whenever there has to be any incarnation in this material world, especially in this planet, whenever there is a need for incarnation, there is the Shirodasha Vishnu who incarnates. All the demigods headed by Brahma, they will go to the ocean of milk. They make a prayer that our dear Lord, the planet is being disturbed. The universe is being disturbed by the demons, by the maleficent. So therefore, kindly make your appearance. Solve the situation, solve the problems. So the Lord comes, and then he manifests himself in a particular incarnation. So we have the three Purushas, Karanadasa Vishnu, who's the universal, the material world. It's called Vishwatma, complete universal soul. And then you have the Garbhodasha Vishnu, who is the soul of the particular universe. And then Kirodasha Vishnu is the soul, the super soul, who resides in the heart of all living entities. So the Virat Purush, the Virat means the universal form. The Virat Purush, the universal form. So universal form is actually an imaginary form of the Lord, an imaginary form, how by the whole world is situated within his body. And this form is said to have, it's called Sahasa Sisa Purusha Sahasa Bhava Vishwatma, that he has thousands of heads, He has thousands of arms and legs and everything. His hands are everywhere. His legs are everywhere. Just like in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, he saw the universal form of the Lord. And in that universal form, you could see that the Lord, the arm, the leg, the heads of the Lord is everywhere, is everything. He could see the whole universe, the whole planet, everything. But only the Lord, you can see that the Lord is everywhere. You can see that many living entities, they are rushing to his mouth, and many are coming out of his mouth. So Arjuna could see the universal form. Actually, universal form is not pretty. It's not really pretty. So when Arjuna was seeing it, so he became very, very much fearful. He became very, very much bewildered. Then he was begging the Lord, oh, my dear Lord, I think this is enough. And then Arjuna became very, very fearful. And then he started praying to the Lord, so my dear Lord, I have miscalculated you. Please forgive me, because I've taken you to be ordinary. Please forgive me, forgive my offense. So Arjuna was praying after seeing the universal form. So, but universal form is not really a form that the Lord loves to show his devotees. Because when one sees the universal form, one becomes very, very much perturbed by it. So the Lord does not like to show us this universal form. So that's the this text. This is the gist of this text 22. And at text 23, Yasmin dasabida prana sendiya tendriya trivit twayerito yato vanas tavi vadyashana. Oh, great Brahmana, you have told me that the gigantic Virat form and its senses, sense objects, and 10 kinds of life here exist with 3 kinds of life vigor. Now, if you will, kindly explain to me the different powers of the specific divisions. So now there is one comment by Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, our Acharya. So he said that in that universal form, you describe the 10 pranas or the life form, along with the sense object and the senses. Trivit refers to strength of mind, Oja, strength of senses, and Bala, strength of body. From that form, the Varnas such as Brahmanas arose. Vibhuti refers to a person such as Prajapati. So there's a lot of technicalities in this. That a lot of technicalities in this description. That's why, as we're going to be throughout this whole canto, and also the next canto, whereby Maitreya will be describing to Vidura whatever question he has asked in respect to the universal form, in respect to the Prajapatis, the Manus, the universal universal arrangement. So all these things are going to be described throughout this chapter, this canto, and also the next canto. So I read the text number 24. Yatra putrascha putrascha natribi sahagotrajai praja vichitraktaya asan yabi idam tata. Oh my Lord, I think that the process manifests in the forms of sons, grandsons, and family members are spread all over the universe in different varieties and species. So this is just talking about the nature of this material world, whereby in the different relatives, sons, grandsons, and family members, which comes in different varieties and different species. It's all scattered all over the universes. So there is no purport to this text. So we go to text number 25. Prajapati Nasapatis Chakpi Kam Prajapatim Sagan Chavanu Sagans Cha Mano Mavatara Dipam. Oh, learned Brahman, please describe how the leader of all the demigods, namely Prajapati Brahma, decided to establish the various manus, the heads of the ages. Please describe the manus also, and please describe the descendants of those manus. So in the chapter, in the canto 2, I think it's chapters 8 or so like that, it mentioned that there are 10 subjects which are covered in the Bhagavatam, 10 subjects. Ata sago bisagoscha, the rodo, after sago nivishago, which means creation, sub-creation, then there are 10 subjects, and one of the subjects is the Manus, the description of Manu. So Manus is the father of mankind, the description, and then the descendants. So this way about the Manu, we are going to be reading in the canto 5. We're going to be talking about the Manu in the canto 5. That's going to be described. I think canto 4. So I think started describing from canto 4, especially once the Swayambhuv Manu, the creation of Swayambhuv Manu and the wife Satarupa. So Swayambhuv Manu and the wife Satarupa, who are the first human being. Swayambhuv Manu, his wife Satarupa. And then of course, they are not ordinary person because they are actually demigods. And then from them, all the humans have come. From there, there's two generations. Now, in the creation of Lord Brahma, now Lord Brahma, he lives for 1 day of Brahma is said to be 1,000 yugas, which means there are Divya Yuga, Sahasra Yuga Payantam, Ahaya Brahmano Vidu. So there are 1,000 yugas in 1 day of Brahma, which means there are 1,000 yugas. Now, for a particular day of Brahma, there are 14 Indras. Indra is the king of heaven. There are 14 Indra for a particular day of Brahmaji. So which means if you divide 1,000 by 14, so that comes to 71. So for 71 Divya Yuga is the life of one Brahma. No, sorry, is the life of one Manu. So which means you multiply 71 by 4.2 million years. So that comes to about 300 something million years. That is 300 something million years. That is the life of one Indra. Now, for a particular Indra, for one life of Indra, for 71 Divya Yuga, there is one Manu. There is one Manu for one life of Indra. There are one Manu. So, for one, there's one Manu for one life of Indra. There's one Manu. So, and this Manu, they are said to be the incarnation of the Lord, Manvantara, because the Manus are very, very powerful beings who are responsible for generating the humans. So in the fifth canto, we're going to be reading about the son of Mano, and then his two sons. Actually, it's actually four cantos, sorry. His two sons, which is Priyavrata and Uttanapad. These are the two sons of Manu. Uttanapad, and then from them, so many other personality comes, like Dhruva Maharaj, and people like Venu, all these descendants. So we're going to be reading about them when we're in a chapter, when we're in canto 4, all these the various descendants of Manu. So I mentioned here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti said, having a similar mind to Parikshit, Vidura asked questions on the same subject as Parikshit until the end of the chapter. Prajapati now, Pati is Brahma. There are 10 divisions of creation, Sagam. Anusagam means subdivisions of those divisions. So again, these are the topics which is going to be described, later on, which are going to be described, because this whole chapter is Vidura is asking questions to Maitreya, this whole chapter. So text number 26. Uparyada chayate loka. Upari means upper, Adam means below. Upari adas chaye loka. Bhume mitratma jasate. Te san sanstam pramanam cha. Bhulokasya chavanaya. O son of Mitra, kindly describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it. And also please mention their measurements as well as that of the earthly planets. Because this text is very self-explanatory. First, Jari purpose, the proper purpose. Yasmi Viganti, Savivam Vigantam Bhavati, is from Mundaka Upanishad. Which means if one knows the Lord, one knows everything. This Vedic aim declares emphatically that this devotee of the Lord knows everything, material and spiritual, in relationship with the Lord. Devotees are not simply emotional, as is ill-conceived by certain less intelligent men. Their direction is practical. They know everything that is and all the details of the Lord's domination over the different creations. So Yasmin Vigante, Savan Evan Vigantam Bhavati, by knowing him. Yasmin means by that person, Yasmin, which this is the Sanskrit term, by knowing that person. Yasmin Vigyante, by knowing him, everything becomes knowable. Sava Evam means everything becomes knowable by knowing him. That Yasmin Praptam Evam, Praptam Evam Bhavati, by attaining him, everything becomes attainable. So devotees, what is the aspiration? They have only one aspiration: to know the Lord and to attain the Lord. What is attain the Lord means? Attain the Lord means to attain the lotus feet of the Lord, which means to get the Lord's lotus feet. That's the attainment. So the devotee's aspiration is to obtain the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. That is their only aspiration. That's their only desire. They have no other desire in this world. The Lord's lotus feet is the most desirable thing. It's the most desirable. And that lotus feet is so special, so precious. It's like so much nectar is emanating from the Lord's lotus feet. So much nectar is emanating from it. It's the most desirable thing in this world. So many great sages, they are undertaking so much austerities, so much meditation for a long period of time, just to have the glimpse of the Lord's lotus feet. And by catching that glimpse, everything is rich, everything is attainable by such attainment of the Lord. So Yasmin Praptan Evan Vigyatan, Praptan Evan Bhavati. By attaining him, everything become attainable in this world. By knowing him, everything is knowable in this material world. After all, everything is with the Lord. Everything that is there, it's all within the Lord's energy. Everything's within the Lord's energy. And the Lord has three main energies. You have the Bahiranga Shakti, the external energy. Then you have the Tatastha Shakti, the imaginary energy. And then you have Antaranga Shakti, or Swarup Shakti. This is the spiritual energy. The Swarup Shakti, and this Swarup Shakti is further divided into Chit, Chit, Sat, and Ananda. Is further divided that way. This the lost energy. So, by becoming a devotee of the Lord, when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, one knows everything that is to be known, both material and spiritual. Everything becomes knowable to a devotee. And of course, you may want to ask that, well, does that mean that a devotee know every single scientific terms that is in this world to be known? Does it that mean that devotees know all the scientific that they can explain to you the science, the statistics, or something like that? That's not that's not that's not, the point is that devotees know the essence of everything. They know the sense of everything. So therefore, they don't engage themselves in the useless speculation. They don't engage themselves in useless speculation because they can understand how material world is coming and going. According to the will of the Lord, material world is created according to the Lord's will. And according to the Lord's will, material world stay for some time, is maintained by the law, by the will of the Lord is maintained. And then according to the will of the Lord is again, there's dissolution. The oath is withdrawn. It comes and go, it comes and go. That's the nature of the material world. So therefore, material world is temporary thing, whereas the spiritual world is eternal. Material world is created, but spiritual world is not created. Spiritual world is always existing. In this material world, there's this time factor here, past, present, and future. That's the time factor that governs the material world. Time factor is always there, past, present, and future. But in the spiritual world, there's no time factor. In the spiritual world, it's always ever present. There's no past or future. It's always ever present in the spiritual world. So that's the difference there. So devotees do not engage themselves in a useless speculation, trying to calculate the Lord's existence, or trying to calculate, it is the Lord that there's a process called neti, which means not this, not that. Especially the impersonalists, they try to understand the absolute truth. And the way of them trying to understand the absolute truth is by way of trying to negate everything that is within our experience. Everything that is within the experience, we try to negate it. Neti, not this, not this, not this, not this, not that. That's how, and then that's how they try to understand the absolute truth through the process of negation. But devotees of the Lord, they don't engage themselves in such negation. Actually, as they say, Parasha Shakti, Parasha Shakti, Vivudaiva Shoyate, Sobhaviki Gyana Balakayacha. That everything is all within the potency of the Lord. Everything is within the Lord's energy. And everything is functional according to the Lord's various energy. Everything is functioning that way. So the so-called not that, they're all within the realm of the Lord's energy. The material world is there. Material world is not false. Material world is truth. But the nature of material world is that it's temporary. Something is temporary does not make it an illusion. The Mayavadi impersonally, they say, oh, Jagan Mithya. Jagan Mithya means this world is illusory. If something is illusory, but you cannot touch it. If you can touch something, it does not make it illusory. Illusory means some imagination. It's something something that have no factual existence. So if you can touch it, you can see, you can feel it, it's not illusory. But however, it's temporary. Because any material object that you may see, it does not stay forever. In due course of time, every materialistic object again, they merge again into the element of nature. There are 8 elements. Bhumi, Apo, Mano, Vaya, Kam, Mano, Bodhi, Evacha. There are 8 elements: earth, water, fire, intelligence, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, like that. So there are 8 elements. You have gross elements, and then you have subtle elements. And according to the philosophy of Sankhya, which we're going to come to the philosophy of Sankhya in the later part of the 3rd canto, especially in the teachings of Lord Kapila. The philosophy of Sankhya is the philosophy of the materialistic elements, whereby everything comes to 24 in total, 24 elements. And according to Lord Kapila, that by understanding this 24 elements, then one can actually be liberated from this material world just by understanding these 24 elements. One can be liberated from the material world. So, Prabhupada said, Yasme Vigyanti, Savave Evam Vigyantam Bhavati, whatever, by knowing that person, so everything is known, everything becomes able by known person. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he composed a verse in one of his songs, very beautiful song. He said, to me, Saveshwarishwari, Brajendra Kumar, Tomare Cha Bishwa, Sinjana Samhar. That, oh, my dear Lord, to me, Saveshwarishwari, my dear Lord, you, to me means you are the controller of all the controllers. There are so many controllers in this world. Say, oh, my dear Lord, you are the controller of all the controllers in this world. To me, Saveshwarishwari. To me, Saveshwarishwari. Brajendra Kumar, Tomare Cha Bishwe Sinjama Samar. From you, material world is created from you. By your will, material world is created. By your will, material world is being maintained. And by your will, everything is destroyed. And the living entities, the jivas, cannot even move their limbs of their body without your will. So everything is done, everything is going on only according to your will only. Everything is going on only according to your will. So this is the conviction of the devotees. This is their conviction that yes, everything is going on according to the will of the Lord only. This is their conviction. So therefore, because devotees do not waste their time on any other objects, do not waste their time on any other, speculation. So therefore, devotees, they remain happy, they remain peaceful, they remain happy. Because they can say anything, can say, yes, The Lord is behind everything. The Lord is behind everything. The whole universe is within the body of the Lord. So everything is within the Lord. So therefore, they remain. Their man is not bewildered. Their man is not bewildered by that. So now there's some points which were mentioned in this verse. So Vidura is addressing matrimony. He's addressing matrimony by calling him Bome Matrat Majasate, the son of Mitra. So I want to get in some little bit of background of matrimony. So matrimony, of course, was a great sage. And matrimony it has a very, very interesting life. Yes, even though we come to know about matrimony only when you read the early part of the third canto Bible time, when Udava was telling Vidura to go to matrimony, because matrimony was there when this knowledge, when Lord Krishna was spoken to him. So matrimony was also there. So now, who is matrimony? Matrimony was a very ancient person, and he had a life before he became matrimony. He had a life. So, according to the legend was there that previously, matrimony, he was one time, yesterday, he was walking on a path. Yesterday was walking on a path, and then as he was walking on a path, he saw there was an insect. He saw an insect, and this insect was struggling because what happened was that there was like a big cat coming, and this insect was struggling, was trying to move away from the path of this cat, because the insect feels that this cat is going to kill it, So, and then, yesterday was observing this insect. And then as he was observing this insect, so the investigator inquired about about the cause of this insect distress, because he could see that this insect was struggling, trying to move away from the part of the cat. So all of a sudden, the insect started speaking. He said, "Oh, great sage." He said, "Great sage. A massive bullock cart approaches, and I fear being crushed beneath its wheels. I desperately seek to escape this grim fate." I want to escape this grim fate, because this massive bullock cart is coming. So, and then the Vyasadeva started speaking to this insect. He said, "Oh, my dear tiny being, where do you find happiness in this fleeting existence? Where could you find happiness in this material world? It seems to me that death will be a welcome release from your suffering, because after all, material world is full of suffering anyway. So therefore, it's better to embrace death, because by embracing death, one will be free from suffering by embracing death." And then he said, counter of yesterday, he said, "Oh, wise one, living entities experience happiness in all forms of life I too find joy in this form. And this, I cling to life. Moreover, I fear that after death, I may descend into an even lower species. And then this insect started explaining to Vyasadeva, started explaining the previous life. He said that in my previous birth, I transgressed against Vedic principles. So, which means the previous life was a human being. So I transgressed against Vedic principles, which means was committing sinful activities. So that's why I became insect. But I did some pious deeds in that form. So my only virtuous deeds was serving my elderly mother and also honoring a Brahmin guest. So in this particular life, I served my mother, and also I honor one Brahmin guest. So this act which I did actually granted me the ability to remember the suffering of past lives. So normally the living entity, once we take another form, and you don't remember your previous life, you don't. There's nobody just, but no one have the capability to remember your past lives. But only some extraordinary living entities are able to remember their previous life. So this instructed I was able to remember this my past life because of this, like the torment in the womb, the agony of birth and death. So therefore I am consumed by terror and yearn for liberation from this endless cycle. So because I remember all my past life, so I'm always in constant fear of birth and death. So he is able to remember so many birth and death which he had encountered. So now Vyasadeva said, so recognizing the insect's sincere desire for liberation, so the Vyasadeva told this insect, your faith in righteousness shall lead you to its attainment. Fear not, for until I establish a path to your liberation, I shall guide you swiftly through your various life forms. When you are born into a pure Brahman family, I shall return and impart transcendental knowledge, leading you to the spiritual realm of your choosing. So therefore, Vyasadeva, he granted this benediction to this insect. So by being reassured by Vyasadeva's words, so the insect met its end. So which means the insect, it met its end beneath the cat's wheel. And then it transmigrated through various species, eventually taking birth in a Kshatriya family. So it took birth as a Kshatriya family. So following Vyasadeva's guidance, he became a king. And then this king ruled righteously, protecting his subjects according to Dharma. And then, because following the Varnashram system, so upon reaching the first stage of life, he retired from the kingly life. So he went to the forest. So he went to the forest and then departed from his body. And then after that, he became a Brahmana in his, the king became a Brahman in the next life. So when he became a Brahman, he took birth in a Brahman body. So at the age of 5, so Vyasadeva initiated him in a specific mantra and granting him the knowledge of the Vedas and scriptures and everything else. And then living life of piety. And then again, this Brahman then departed from his body. So now, in the next birth, he became the illustrious sage Maitreya. So the father's name was called Kusharu, and the mother's name was called Mitra. So from this Mitra, it's called, Mitra means, from Mitra, the word Maitreya comes. So therefore, the text we are reading is, oh, son of Mitra. oh son of Mitra. So which means the Mitra was his mother, and being the son of, so he was called Maitreya. Maitreya means the son of Mitra. So normally in the very scriptures, many personalities are named after their mother. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna was called Konteya. So Konteya means son of Kunti. It's called Konteya. Or Palta, or the Palta means the son of Marapritu, or Palta. So, and then so normally people are named after their mother or father. They are named accordingly. Konteya, in this case, Maitreya. And then Maitreya, then he studied the Puranas, the comprehensive knowledge of Puranas, and also so many things like that, under the Parasaramuni, who was the father of Vyasadeva. Now, Maitreya, he desired to study Bhagavad Purana. He desired to study Purana under the tutelage of Parasaramuni. So he desired to study Bhagavad Purana under the tutelage of Parasaramuni. So then Parasaramuni, so when he approached Parasaramuni that he want to study the Puranas, so Parasaramuni told him that okay. So actually Parasaramuni wanted to test him. He wanted to test his intelligence. So he told him that before I teach you Purana, first go and bring gold. Go and bring Subhana. Subhana means gold. Go and bring gold before I can teach you the Purana. Go and bring gold. So, and then, so Maitreya, he accepted the instruction with reference, and he was thinking that what could be the deeper meaning of the request of Parasaramuni that he should go and bring gold. What does the meaning of this gold? What does it mean? After all, what is gold? After all, gold is associated with the darkness of Kali Yuga, and gold is a source of attachment. So why will my guru be asking me, my guru who has a profound wisdom, why will he be asking me to go and bring gold? Why will he be asking me to go and bring just ordinary metal? Why will he be asking me this? So, and then he's thinking that, oh, he must be referring to something transcendental. He must be referring to something much, but maybe my dear, I think maybe my Lord is my guru is asking me for the Lord himself, who is much more valuable than gold. So, and then Maitreya, so he went to the river, Gandaki River, and then he retrieved a Shila. He retrieved a Shila from the river, and then presented this Shila to his guru. And they said, Guru Dev, I have brought the gold. I brought Subhana. Here is it. At the Parasaramuni, feigning ignorance, he said, what is this? This is stone you have brought here. You're not bringing me gold. This is stone. You trying to deceive me or something? You trying to deceive me? Hmm? And then Maitreya, he clarifies, my dear master, the true goal, one with a beautiful form, is the Supreme Lord himself. And this Shila is a direct manifestation, as confirmed by the Vedas and Purans. Therefore, I offer this goal, the Lord with beautiful complexion, in your service. And then to validate his understanding, So Maitreya recited. Then he said, if it is true that Murari Krishna is God, then may he manifest his four-armed form. So it's addressing the salagram. That if this is true that the Lord is God, may he manifest himself in his four-armed form. So when Maitreya uttered these words, so the stone miraculously transformed into the Lord's divine form, manifest himself into the Lord's form. So witnessing this, Parasaramuni embraced Maitreya, recognizing his profound wisdom, and then imparted to him the sacred knowledge of the Puranas. So, and then when Lord Krishna was teaching Uddhava in Prabhupada Kshetra, so Maitreya Muni was there. So he also listened to the same instructions. And then the Lord actually specifically instructed Maitreya that he must instruct Vidura. So the Lord actually instructed Maitreya Muni. And Maitreya Muni, being an ancient sage, is a deathless sage, because he was instructed that he has to continually narrate the subject of Bhagavad, the subject of Bhagavatam unto the end of this Kali Yuga. So which means Maitreya is exiting somewhere. Maitreya Muni is there. He's one of the deathless sage. He's one of the sage that is there in the Himalayas. We may not be able, we cannot see him because these are transcendental personalities. Just like Vyasadeva is there, he's also there in the Himalayas. And similarly, Maitreya Muni is also there. There are some few personalities that are there this way. So this is the thing that the various history that is there. So Vidura is asking Maitreya Muni to kindly describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it, and also please mention their measurements as well as that of the earthly planets. This is the query which Vidura is asking Maitreya, that about it. You want to know the nature of the planet, those that are above the earth and those that are below the earth. Upariada, above and below, left, right, everything. And also the measurement of each planet. The measurement of each planet. So you will find all these answers in Bhagavatam. The measurement of the planet, you find them, and you find this answer later on as Maitreya as is answering the questions of Vidura. So we're going to got to know, like I said, that this universe is 4 billion miles in diameter, 4 billion miles. Now the materialist scientists, they may not accept. They may say, "Oh, how do you know? How do you calculate? How do you measure it? How do you measure?" We just accept. We don't use our material calculation. We don't use our material. We just accept whatever the Vedic scripture says, because the Vedic scripture is a perfect scripture. It's a perfect knowledge that is there. It's a perfect knowledge, and it was given to us by those men who are perfect themselves, those who are free from duplicity. They give this knowledge. So because they are free from duplicity, so whatever knowledge they give, It's also free from duplicity. It's perfect knowledge. And such acceptance is what will lead us to perfection. So by such acceptance. So I'm going to stop here. If there's any question or comment, you can please go ahead.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It's great to share, Prabhu. Wow. One beautiful thing about Prabhuji humble self speaking, especially on this forum, is how you're able to blend in lots of amazing stories to buttress what the text is talking about. So thank you so much for sharing these rich pastimes. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations you may want to ask or share, indicate by using the hand emoji and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question or share your reflections. Shri Shara Prabhu, yesterday, in yesterday's class, there was a statement made by the speaker that one should not act except the spiritual master has instructed him to act. So I asked a question: if someone only acts when the spiritual master asks him to do something, that seems to me that that individual is not trying to be intelligent, because we cannot always depend on what the spiritual master tells us before we act. We learn, and then we get to a point that we can use our intelligence to understand what to do, what not to do. And then His Grace Sriman Varacharya came in and then gave a contribution that it is actually expected that the disciple comes to a level where he can understand the mind of the spiritual master. And the pastime you shared today, I don't know if His Grace Sriman Varaha is still here, kind of supports what Sriman Varacharya Prabhu was saying yesterday, because in the pastime of Maitreya and Parashara Muni asked Maitreya to bring him a gold. And then he brought him with this Shila. So he was asking, what are you doing? But eventually, Parashara was not asking for ordinary gold. But Maitreya was able to understand his master's, his guru's mind. And therefore, it may appear that he kind of disobeyed him, but actually he honored him. So if my assessment is right, my question then is, how do we as sadhakas get to the level where we can understand the mind of the spiritual master and then serve him on that platform? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, as I said that there are three types of disciples. There's a disciple who already knows the mind of the spiritual master. He already know the mind of the spiritual master. So he doesn't wait to be told what to do. So he just acts, and he knows what to be done. And so such a disciple is called first class disciple, because he knows the mind of the spiritual master, which is due to surrender. And there's another disciple whereby unless he's told something, he will not act. So that's second class. And then the third class disciple is that even though by being told to do something, still he will not do it. He'll be speculating, he'll be rationalizing why this cannot be done, why that cannot be done. So therefore, we should be first class disciple, not second class disciple or third class. We should be first class disciple. But that's possible only if we surrender due to Saranagati. So to those who surrender to the Guru, it said that Yasa Devi Parashakti, Tada Devi is that Tata Devi is that. But only unto those who have surrendered unto the spiritual master, whatever something like that. There's a verse in the Yasa Devi Parabhakti that the path of bhakti is revealed to those kind of disciples. So one has to surrender to the Guru and ready to render confidential service to the Guru. It's called Vishramba Seva, the confidential service to the Guru. Only those persons that the knowledge of the verse become revealed to them. Everything becomes revealed to such persons. So that comes by surrendering. We have to come to the platform of first-class disciple, not the second-class disciple. You cannot remain first class or second, or third class or second class. We have to come to the first class.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing that. And we pray that somehow in this lifetime we'll come to that level and be able to serve and please our spiritual master. Anyone else with something to ask or to share? Govinda Prabhu, please, you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Govinda.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very, very much for this wonderful presentation. It was very, very deep.
I can see you are driving us to the spiritual world. I can see that.
Well, I'm driving through the space, and your Bhagavatam class is giving me the speed of wind that is carrying me through the destination. So thank you very, very much. Prabhu, I would like you to kindly explain further about a disciple knowing the mind of a spiritual master. Sadhu Prabhu asked a question that a disciple has to be intelligent enough so he does not sit down as a baby for every day for the master to tell him what to do, which is right. We have material intelligence and also spiritual intelligence. So materially, people are very intelligent because they can do so many wonderful, wonderful things. But they cannot understand Krishna. They cannot understand themselves. They understand anything pertaining to the body and to give comfort to the body. But they do not understand that beyond the body, there is a spirit, and that spirit also must be happy and peaceful. And they don't know the signs to get to that platform, even though they are so-called intelligent men. So when you speak of the intelligence, or one knowing the mind of the spiritual master, I believe that must be spiritual intelligence. And the spiritual master being the manifestation of a super soul. Does that mean if that disciple have come to the platform of knowing the mind of the spiritual master, does that mean that disciple is kind of in touch with the super soul? So therefore he's using his spiritual intelligence. The guru is instructing him from within. I would like you to expatiate on that.
Knowing the mind of the guru, spiritual master, actually means to know the mission of the spiritual master. The spiritual master has a mission, and disciples who are fixed in the service of the guru, they know the spiritual master's mission, and they have to execute that mission. Just like, for example, in our ISKCON movement, we know what pleases Prabhupada or what pleases our particular guru is the spread of this Nam Sankirtan movement. Just like remember in the early days, we used to go from city to city, country to country, trying to establish this Christian consciousness movement in various countries. Thereby we go, because because going there is the desire of the spiritual master. This is their desire because the mission is to save the humanity. Because the mission to save the humanity is to save the conditioned souls. And that is their anxiety to save the conditioned souls. So therefore, a disciple, he actually carries the anxiety of the guru, because the guru's anxiety is to relieve the body, is to relieve the suffering of the jivas. So therefore, a disciple, he carries this anxiety of the guru, and he goes and spread this Christian consciousness. And we undertake all kinds of trouble in doing so. So many of us in the early days of the pioneering aspect of Christian consciousness. So we went through that. So knowing the Guru's mind is to know the Guru's mission, and the person will understand that the path of perfection is through the service rendered to the spiritual master. So therefore, he wants to, by all means, render service to the spiritual master, knowing the spiritual master's need, and render service accordingly. So it doesn't wait to it. And of course, yes, such a person is definitely in touch with the super soul, because the super soul is guiding. So he's definitely in touch with the super soul, and because the super soul is guiding. And this is due to us, due to surrender, because you become guided by the super soul only after you surrender. When you've accepted the path of Saranagati, self-surrender, whereby you no longer consider the needs of your body, but you think only in what is good for the absolute truth, what is good for the Guru and Krishna. So at that time, and on that stage, you become guided by the super soul, and because of that guidance, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know when to do it, like that. So therefore, yes, super soul definitely a factor there. The super soul guide a surrender person. Somebody has surrendered to the spiritual master. So that's what we have to beg for. We have to pray to become a surrender devotee.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Governor Prabhu, thank you for the question, and Shri Shara Prabhu, thank you for the answer. Shimavara Acharya Prabhu, please you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glory to the assembled devotees. Thank you, Prabhu. This subject yesterday, I could not really address it because I was driving and it was a very hectic traffic. And Sahadev Prabhu has brought it up again today. Now, when he was asking the question today, I'm only hearing a bit and bit of it because at that moment somebody was also talking to me. But all the same, what I heard you saying about first class devotee and the second class, and that seems to be again a bit in contradiction with what I learned. I can't remember exactly what part of Srimad Bhagavatam, but there it is explained that the first class devotee, he does exactly what he's told to do. But in the second class devotee, he modifies what the guru asks him to do. Sometimes he modifies what he asked to do. So now in that case, and then according to that passage, if my memory serves me well, both are considered okay, but the first class, it's actually, I don't know, I really can't remember, because this was an argument I had with Omkara many years back, and he showed me that passage, Prabhu Omkara. Now, Srila Prabhupada, for instance, modified some of the instructions in order to be able to preach in the West. Can we say it's a second-class devotee? So we find that many great acharyas have had to modify instructions in order to do the needful, because they understand the mind of the guru. But then somebody who is going by the rules and who is considered first class only does what it has to do. So you see the problem that in most cases, the first class is not even what is required. Like Uttama Hadikari. Uttama Hadikari is first class devotee, but that's not what is required. It's not what is required to be able to get people across to Krishna. So, I mean, sometimes we are influenced by certain categorization, and we think that
Prabhu, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you rightly said it that you were kind of interrupted. You did not hear much what my question was and Ishara Prabhu's answer. But from what you're saying, is that like what you read or heard from the scriptures is in contradiction to what Ishara Prabhu is saying. It's
exactly.
It's actually affirmation. You are affirming, yes, you are affirming what Ishara Prabhu was just saying.
Okay. Maybe because I did not hear very well. Okay, yeah. So that's exactly what if that is what Prabhu said, then okay, I'm okay. I think I got a better handle. Okay, thank you very much. So I think you got what I was trying to say anyway.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So anyone else with something to ask or to share?
Let's see, we have Hari Chakra, we have the Sunita Devi, Luka Devi, Ishwara Devi. Ladies never ask question.
Yeah, most of the time they don't.
Yeah, they very.
So Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is nectar. We don't want you to go. You know. Prabhuji, I'm so at the same spot. I would like you to again brief us more. That I understand that devotion attract devotion. When you render service to the Lord give you more service in return. So that means that the Lord has to, one has to be blessed by the Lord to render service. Is that what it is? Because most of us has been in the movement for quite some time now. And we understand what the Lord wants us to do. We understand that devotional service is the goal. We understand that rendering devotional service expose the Lord to us, or we being exposed to the Lord. Now, why are we finding it difficult? why do we find it difficult in rendering service to the Lord? Why are we reluctant? Is it because we are not getting that blessings from the Lord? Because the Lord says that He can easily give anything that a living entity may ask Him, He can easily give. But it's hard for the Lord to give devotional service, because to give you devotional service means He's giving you Himself. So our reluctancy for rendering devotional service, is it the result of we not being blessed by the Lord?
Yeah, the real bhakti, the real devotional service, pure bhakti, is something that is very, very difficult to obtain. It's called bhakti sudulabha. It's extremely difficult to get real bhakti. Why is it difficult to get real bhakti? Because bhakti is not an activity of this material world. It's called a bhakti bhaktam bhagavan, the devotee, the bhakta, then the bhakti, devotional service, and then the law of bhagavan do not belong to the material world. So whenever we're talking of bhakti, we're not talking of bhakti, devotee, or God. We're not talking of materialistic, material subject, material affairs. So because bhakti, and to get real bhakti, it's extremely difficult. It's very rare thing, it's very rare to obtain bhakti, because why? As I mentioned, a real bhakta, it was that Krishna Kashati. Krishna Kashati means that devotional service attract Krishna. Krishna is the most attractive, but devotional service attract him. So what can devotional service attract Krishna? See, it has to be spiritual, completely spiritual. It's not something done materialistic. That's why it's not something whereby that is done grudgingly. That, oh, I'm doing this because I was told to do it. I'm doing this because there's a fear involved. I'm doing it because there's nothing better else to do. Yeah. As Prabhupada mentioned, one legislative bhakti is an affair activities of the heart, whereby there's a complete giving up of the heart. The great devotees of Krishna, the Brijvasis, they gave up their heart to Krishna. Krishna has stolen their heart, which means Krishna become the possessor of their heart. So such personalities are devotees. They're not easy to find. So the real bhakti is extremely difficult to obtain in this material world, because it's not an activity of the material world. So therefore, now how do we obtain it? Even though it's not an activity of the material world, it's not available in the material world. So how do we get it? How do we get it? So we get it when the spiritual personalities, when they come down from the spiritual world. So when they come down from the spiritual world, and then because of their compassion towards us, then they start giving us mercy by engaging us in cultivating what we call the creeper, the bhakti lata, the devotional creeper. So a devotional creeper is not bhakti itself, it's just a creeper. It's a tree. You want to grow a tree. So you begin by planting the seed. You plant the seed, and then you start watering it. You're watering it, and then the seed is growing. And then the more you water it, the more the seed, the more the plant grows and grows. And of course, when you're watering it, you have to be very, very careful that there is no other dangerous creeper growing around it. Otherwise, they may overwhelm the plant. So that's why I mentioned that when one is beginning to render the practicing devotional service, then one has to be very, very careful of bad thing or unwanted thing. It's called anatta. One has to be very, very careful of offenses and many, many things like that. So as one grows this devotional creeper, and then that creeper becoming, then it's growing, the plant is growing. And one is watering nicely with the with the hearing and chanting and all that. One is watering it, and then eventually it grows to the spiritual world. It goes to the spiritual eventually. So that's only happened only by the mercy of the saints who have come from the spiritual world. So therefore, this devotional service we are read is not really devotional service. Just as we can call ourselves aspiring Bhaktas, aspiring devotees, because we are doing something based on what the spiritual master have told us to do. So therefore, we are aspiring Bhakta. But the real Bhakti becomes when we become spiritual, whereby we become very, very enthusiastic. We become very real taste. Taste come. And then once taste comes, it's called rati. And then there's a shock there, there's attachment. Attachment to what? To what? Attachment to the Lord. And by that time, this material world will no longer have any attraction for us at that time. So the topic of bhakti is a very, very, very deep subject, very, very deep topic. We want to describe bhakti. So that's why our acharyas, they've written so many, many books about this. So many, you can read the books like Nectar Devotion, or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you can read Ujjwala. So many, many books our acharyas have written about this point of bhakti. Hari Bhakti Vilas, all these books are there, which our acharyas have written about what is bhakti and how we can enter into bhakti. Again, we can enter into bhakti. We have to pray for the grace of the great personalities, the great sadhus. We have to pray for them. But we have to be ready. We have to convince ourselves that we are ready for it. We have to convince ourselves that we are ready, and we have to convince ourselves that yes, we are no longer interested in this material world. So we have to convince ourselves, basically. So therefore, attaining bhakti is up to you. It's not up to anybody. It's up to you. It's up to us, individual. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that is that is very deep and also a kind of scary
Well,
to some.
it's not scary. It begin by
Yeah.
you only have to cry. You have to start crying to the Lord. Cry, cry, cry. Like a child, when a child wants something from the mother, he cries. Right. And then when the child cries, then the mother says, "Oh, I just something." The mother gives. So similarly, also we have to learn how to cry. We have to learn to cry for it. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not cheap thing. It's not cheap. So bhakti is not a cheap thing. So we have to cry for it and pray for the Lord and the Vaishnavas. You know.
All right. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Start looking up. Looking up. It is. Let us start looking up.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the questions and the beautiful answers given. And I believe at this point we're going to humbly request all the devotees to. Oh, sorry, Hare Chakra Prabhu, I almost missed you. Hare Chakra Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shara Prabhu, please, Dandava Pranam. All glories to Gurudev, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, my question goes a little bit in line with the questions I did ask and the answers you gave, but I think it has another aspect of it. Usually we hear that whatever we do, we must cross-check whatever we are doing with Guru Sadhu Shastra. And most of the time, if sometimes we will say something and they say, "Oh, which scripture is saying this?" But we read and we will be quoting Rupa Goswami, we will be quoting Sanatana Goswami, we will be quoting the previous acharyas. The previous acharyas, they had a realization, and based on their realization, they give us some knowledge that can help us. Does that mean that we, in our time now, we can also not have a realization that we can give to people that will help them?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting my question?
Yeah.
That Rupa Goswami had a realization. Sanatana Goswami, they are all previous acharyas. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur got some deeper realization. But Isiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada, they had realizations. And based on the realization they got, they taught us. And so by following this thing, does that mean we can also not come up with some, we cannot develop, Krishna will not bring us to a level, a certain point in our devotional life, for us to also get some realization, where in the future, people will also refer, like, oh, Ishwara, so and so, Ishwara Prabhu got this realization and he mentioned this, he said that, and that if you put in practice, you also get something. That aspect, sometimes I get a little bit confused about it.
No, you have answered your own question, because the great acharyas, they've written all this book. They wrote all this book not for their own amusement. It's not because they want to attain some award, some professor award or something like that, or they want to get some Nobel Prize. So therefore, they've written all this. These are very personality who have so much deep compassion for fallen jivas, living entities. I mean, so they wrote all these literatures for us to come to and they show us the way that, yes, this is how you can develop self-realization. And this is how you can go to Krishna, you can go to God. So which means if we follow what has been given by them, then we will attain the goal. We will attain it. Their book is meant for us. Their book is not meant for their glory. Because of their deep compassion for us, so they wrote they compiled all these wonderful literatures. So which means whatever is there, we simply have to accept and follow. Even though if we find ourselves unable to follow, we have to pray for it. We have to develop a deep hankering for it. My dear Lord, I'm so weak. So therefore, please give me the strength. Give me the capability to follow this instruction. So we have to, this is what we have to simply pray for the Lord. We have to pray for the, that's what called praying for the mercy. If you do that, then their happiness is to see us become pure devotees of Krishna. When in Atlanta Temple, so many devotees, they've come to Atlanta Temple, so that time Srila Prabhupada had come. And that time, this was the time when book distribution was very, 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 very high. So many big devotees, big book distributor, they came. And the Prabhupada was there. So they asked Srila Prabhupada, how can we please you? They asked him. So everybody was expecting that the Prabhupada would say that, okay, distribute my books. But Prabhupada said, you will please me when you develop love for Krishna. Then you will please me. When you develop love of Krishna. This was Prabhupada's answer. That yes, Prabhupada become happy when you develop love of God. You know, when Srila Prabhupada arrived in New York City in 1965, if you read his poem, the poem that Prabhupada wrote when he was getting off the Jaladuta, you know, where he was written the marking that whereby my dear Lord, why you have brought me to this place? But these people who are so much covered by ignorance by the mode of Raja and Tama, how would they be able to understand this message? How be able to understand this message? And that's so proper. Just take your time and read this, but you'll find them in the songbook. These first two points that Prabhupada wrote when he first arrived in New York City in 1965. That is his mission. That's why he came there. That's his mission. You know. So yeah, the path of bhakti is there, Sudulaba, but we have to be ready to embrace it. And the great personalities, they are forever, they're actually there. If we pray to them, they will listen to our prayer. If we pray to them, we have to pray to them, and then they will accept our prayer. because it's their desire for us to become a lover of Krishna. That is their desire. That is their wish, that you become the lover of Krishna. And the result of their labor, what they've done, writing all these so many things, the result of their labor is to see you becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. That is the result of their labor. So basically, there's a hope for everybody. There's a hope for everyone. Hope is there. So we should never be hopeless. Hope is there.
No, Prabhu, sorry to follow up this. I think maybe you might not have gotten the question I was asking. What I'm saying is, these acharyas are there, they've given us the path. So if we are sincere and we follow those paths that the acharyas have given us, isn't it possible that there will come a time in our devotional life that we also have some realization, which we can also bring it out, so that in the future or even in our lifetime, some people can see, hear our realizations and also imbibe it and be able to also progress based on the realizations that we have. In other words, what I'm saying is that the previous acharyas have given us the path to follow. If we follow sincerely, is it possible that we can also come to a level where we can also come out with some realizations that we have gotten based on whatever we have followed, and that people can also look at us, people can also hear us, and here are the realizations that we have that will help them to also make progress, like we heard some people say made progress out of that.
Yes, of course, but that's the whole point of spiritual development. The relation will always be there. The relation, of course, will come. It will come, so that people can follow, because you follow your predecessor perfectly. So you're able to realize something, and then your realization, you express. Actually, a devotee preacher, the preacher is actually based on his own realization. Like, for instance, every preacher is different. The preaching is based on what one has realized. As they said, we are not just parrots. We just repeat what has been read. We repeat something based on the realized knowledge. So our preaching is based on our realization, not that we're just repeating what has been said. Because if you just repeating what has been said, it will not really be attractive to anyone. The devotee speak based on the conviction, his own conviction, on his realization. Because how can I tell you that a Christian is like this, Christian is like this, if I don't have such experience myself? And because I have such experience myself, I can eagerly tell you that, oh, Christians like this, what Christian like, because based on factual experience, which is come from internal realization. So devotee preacher, everything they preach, I'm talking of sincere preacher, everything they preach is all sincere realization. And that's why the two preachers are never the same. The two preachers are never alike. Just like many of us who grew up with His Holiness Baptist Maharaj. So his style of preaching was different than his God brothers. And it was many people criticize him, that why is he talking like this? Why is he doing like that? Because they don't understand that he's, so he's, and he was able to attract people based on that. So when devotees have their realization and they preach accordingly, the devotee who's not will be usually misunderstood, and they get criticized by others. So that happens a lot. So a real preacher, a real propagator of Sanatana Dharma is one who preaches according to his own realization. So everything we do is based on our realization. So you have to realize something that you can give it to others, basically.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees. And Prabhuji, thank you so much. It's late your time. So
Yeah.
I think we'll call it a day. And thank you so much, as always. The way you spoke today, I'm thinking probably someday in the very near future, maybe we should arrange to have some of you, like the pioneers of Krishna consciousness in West Africa, to share with us how Krishna consciousness was given birth to in West Africa. So those of us who came in later could also learn and maybe progress from such experiences. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Anyway, thank you so much.
you should definitely make a plan for that.
Yeah.
You should make a plan.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And with that being said, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute. And we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Santaka Kripa Sindhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha. Jai.
All glories to His Grace Ishwara Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnava.
Hare Krishna.